Hello, everybody, and welcome back as we're getting prepared for game number 2 of No Org versus Zeus. Coco, what are you doing over there?
Sorry. I was just checking the distance and the gap of how far No Org threw that Baron last game. So, nonetheless, yes. Speaking of which, I think it's a wake-up call for No Org. Something where, for me, they understand that they are struggling in team fight situations. These quick draw, sporadic fights that Zeus Gaming was starting was not of their forte, and they need to go back to that much more traditional format of late game scaling, getting to this more favorable Viper style where he can find those flanks, and they go on their accord. They engage on No Org's footing, where Zeus, they can just continue to put pedal to the metal, and if they continue doing different spicy picks like Kallistas and Caitlyn's and Seraphines and so on and so forth, they might be able to just make this series a 2-0.
Yeah, they find themselves up winning this so far, pushing that head-to-head record throughout the entire Tier 2, Tier 1 season to 5-3. And, I mean, No Org, you said it's a wake-up call, because, again, this is the team that's gotten first place in 2 of the Tier 2 tournaments. They were coming into this tournament as one of the big teams of, like, okay, yes, they're pretty much 5, it's 5 players that have played at Academy, so amateur team, right? But they were one of the teams that everybody expected to really be pushing these Academy-level teams, and now Zeus Gaming showing up here saying, no, we're also in that conversation as well. You got to respect us. So, No Org, let's see what their adaptation is. How do they address the fact that they're down in the series right now? They do find themselves on blue side yet again. That gives them that priority first pick. And this time around, they say, no Kai'Sa, we're going for that Udyr. That was a big problem from RBM last time around.
Yeah, and Koitz of Leota, he's saying that if you're trying to shift up something where your bot lane is constantly getting rammed, changing the top side isn't going to be any different. Jungle, though, might be able to tell a different story, as Hecarim and Udyr is going to be the matchup today. I'm giving favor more over to the Power Pony for RBM for this game, just because it is able to place itself and fit into many more styles and compositions than Udyr can. He did struggle a little bit in Game 1, but RBM was able to pilot him very efficiently in that very chaotic composition that Zeus was able to cook up. And then with Dark Wings being able to take the Azir, he's sort of throwing down the gauntlet and saying, Five Fire, I know how to pilot the Emperor.
Yeah, I think this is great for twofold, because first off, Dark Wings can play the Azir. Second of all, Fire, for a lot of that game, was playing the Azir very, very well. It was only that last play at the very end. Doesn't have flash and it gets caught in the mid lane, but not going to have the luxury of the Shurima Shuffle this time around, or the Emperor's Divide to keep himself safe. We'll have to play something else in the mid lane. Meanwhile, No Org do lock in a very safe bottom side. They get Senna and Tahm Kench. I think that this is mostly a preemptive pick. I mean, they're like, hey, if you're going to try and pick a power side or strong side bot lane, well, we're just going to play something that can, easily survive through that. And interesting answer here from Zeus Gaming. Lock in the Ezreal.
Okay, so just to quickly sum up how both Value and Big are going to be, like you said, it's going to be fairly neutral. You're sort of doing the opposite of throwing down the gauntlet. You're just saying, you know what? Gentleman's agreement, we're just going to farm, we're going to have some different priorities.
We'll play your game.
The thing is, though, like you mentioned, they pick it early, and this is giving Zeus the time to give an answer call over. Picking that Ezreal first, you immediately see that they are not going to have Rhino on that Yuumi whatsoever, but this also allows roaming supports to come back into the meta. Leona's, Alistair's, Nautilus's are still available as well, and that can give that opening to possibly assist RBM once you get to that level 6, and you really try and hard break open the river and the rest of the jungle going into this game.
Pony Squad is still available. They could lock in that Rel yet again. We'll see what the final ban is here from No Org. I mean, the Yuumi makes sense. It's so good with the Hecarim. Yeah?
I want Rakan. I want to see Rhino Rakan with Shurelias. I want to see that. I think that might be really good.
We have seen that paired with the Hecarim in the past, but I guess you're not really... The issue I have with Rakan is you're so squishy against lanes like the Leona, lanes like the Rel, but I mean, you're not going to be in lane. You're leaving.
Right? But you're that counter engagement, and not only does Rakan sort of help counteract what Tahm Kench wants, where he can sort of gobble up his ally. The Karma Flex, I guess I'm going to just drop my Rakan point for a little moment, because we still don't know if that's going to be a Karma top. But with that, it's just more lane oppression. It's making sure that you're saying, okay, gentleman's agreement, you're going to farm, but you're going to have to do it underneath your turret, because Karma just instantly gains priority in the bot lane.
This is a dirty draft from Zeus Gaming right now. I'm liking what they're doing. They're like, all right, you get sent to top catch, well, we're going to log into Ezreal. We can have a support that does pretty much anything not in lane. Right. and we go with a Karma, but Yone and Silas.
I like this. I like Silas. It's a good blind pick. But, Alorm, you're stealing the thunder, my guy, as he's able to pick up his Urgot for this game, too.
I was hoping we'd see this.
It is, man, oh man, I was going to compliment No Org on the final B4, B5 pickups, where it's Yone. He's saying, I can actually trade against Darkwings through every single stage of the game, even if you do have the Shurima Shuffle. I have multiple options to get through that. So good call on 5-Fire for that end, and it's also going to be really good as a hard engager and quick burst coming out when you get to those mid-game and late-game team fights. Silas as well is in that same department where he's a strong dueler in the laning phase, and because you have a Hecarim on the other side of the map, you can steal that ultimate to be an engagement tool for the rest of the team to follow through, and it plays into No Org's style. But man, oh man, it's just the chaos within everything else. The Ezreal Karma in the bottom lane, the Alorm grabbing his comfort pick of Urgot.
What is the meta, Coco? What is the meta? We did prep of like, these are the strong picks. This is what we expect. Maybe Zeus picks like one or two kind of off meta wacky ones. I did not expect this.
This is Disneyland comps, man. Like you go to Disneyland where dreams really become true. Like that's where it is. And I think I'm gonna have to pull out my measuring tape again,
Mickey
man,
Mouse
because honestly,
would be at home.
Dude, I think I got my measuring tape right here. Zeus Gaming, man, this actually is huge. This is just a big draft cap here for Zeus.
They have
comfort pick top,
but like
immediate prio bot.
Let's think about what this comp does though, because again, I'm excited for like a lot of the counters that we have, right? But what are they trying to do ultimately? They have Hecarim, Karma that wants Karma speeds up the Hecarim go in, right? Azir and Ezreal with that ranged poke damage, and then the Urgot to be that kind of secondary front line, right? But I guess they do have enough to disengage. It's going to be really hard for No Org to actually get on top of these carries now that I look at it.
It continues playing to the style of what Zeus likes to have in team fights, which is chaotic, sporadic fights. Like quick little skirmishes within one another that sort of continue to pile on top of each other and make this nice cake that's a team fight for themselves that they have the knife to cut through. Where No Org, they need to measure everything out and have that exact point to break through the defenses and break through that backline, which is a very maneuverable and mobile backline of Darkwings and Raheen, to actually get an advantage. However, you have infinite scaling as well coming in from value, so that's another discussion that you can leave.
For me, personally, it's going to come down to this mid lane matchup. Can 5-Fire on the Yone counterpick into the Azir pop off? Because if this Yone gets fed, then that completely flips the narrative of, oh, no, Zeus has all this disengage, all this like ability to stay far away. If he can 100 to 0 you really fast, that changes everything. But that's a big if, and we've seen Yones also fizzle out in the amateur scene. So, wow, what a game two to close out the night, potentially close out the night. We'll see if No Org are able to pick this one up or if Zeus can make it a quick 2-0 and secure their spot in the Proving Grounds circuit. They're one game away from guaranteeing that position. And we're loaded onto Summoner's Rift, Coco. I'm excited because there's a lot of cool picks. But again, let's go through the homework. Let's do our due diligence and think about, what are the biggest matchups that you're looking at? Because these are three very unique lanes. So I want to focus on whatever one you think is going to be the most impactful early on.
Well, early on, I'm definitely going to be looking at Alorm and Viper and how that interacts. This is, if I recall correctly, this is the first time we're seeing Silas in the top lane in the amateur scene, especially being piloted against one of these more renowned top laners in Viper. So for him, this could help shift some of the meta going forward into the next Tier 1 tournaments because of how Silas has sort of gotten some small buffs here and there and how he's a very unique and strong flex pick in the draft when it comes down to it. But he's also very, very niche. So having him come in at this point and at this crucial moment, like you said, No Org is one boss away from taking out of PGC and having to go back into another Tier 1, and Zeus can get that 2-week bye.
Well, they still could go through the losers bracket. They could go or lose out here. They have the second chance, but they don't want that, right?
But it's like
they're taking right now.
It's this niche pick because not only is it that unique style of Silas and being shifted into the 11.4 patch, but also it's against Alorm's Urgot, which is this very unique style, and it's just he's something he's so comfortable on, and it's extremely difficult to try and challenge him in different stages of the game, laning phases, TP flank situations, objective contentions, like all of that. Alorm has it on lock on this champion.
Top lane, very volatile. Bot lane as well, shoved in here. Interesting to know, Value and Big actually didn't leash Onda. They went right to that wave,
fine.
but still Raheem and Rhino get level 2 first. Regardless of that, that's just the power of the Karma right there, throwing out that Q on the wave. But that means that Onda will be slightly behind in the jungle clear, but still looking for a gank topside. Alorem going aggressive onto Viper, but needs to be careful. RBM's very far away. Can try and come in and help. Hasn't popped the Ghost quite yet, and there it is. All right, Alorem, how long can you stay alive for? Not long enough is the answer, as Viper picks up first blood. Exactly what No Org needed to start off this game.
Yeah, and he sprinted immediately to this top side. Viper, knowing that Alorem is going to be going for a cheater strat with that cull purchase, but is forced to do it early with the first blood going over to a Viper on that Sylas. And we actually have some more fights going on. We have Rhino
up to the mid lane. Ooh, Fire takes a big chunk of damage. Still has the flash available, so it does not go down. But yeah, this is what the Karma can do. I mean, roaming Karma might not feel like the most impactful roam from a support, but hey, it helps. It
can force summoners, and it complements RBM's Heck Room. That is what it's there for. It may not be able to do anything on its own, but in tandem with that Heck Room or Dark Wings when he hits level 6, that's when this Karma gets dangerous.
Look at RBM. He's just Chad in the jungle of Ender right now. He's like, I got Rhino with me. What you going to do about it? The answer is send Viper down there as well. Okay, we're following bot lane TP, I suppose. Here we go. All right, RBM does get out. Yeah, they're just wasting their time. Big TP's in, doesn't find anything for it. Fire tries to get in onto Dark Wings, can't find anything for it.
Ooh, get a flash here.
Be in trouble. Might have to flash. There's a knockup. You have flashes over the wall, but a double flash from No Org. They say, nope, we want this kill, and we will commit for it. There we go. Licky does get the kill. Big picking up that one.
All right, at least able to get the kill and make sure that none of that time was truly to waste. But while that's all happening, Value can't farm because he's doing Fasting Senate, and he's just all in there for the stacks and getting those soul points. So he is really giving Raheem an absolute luxury in this bottom lane to continue to power farm and scale up on this Ezreal. Fire, like you mentioned, this is the trading volatility that Yone is just notorious at, but it can also sort of back himself into a weird spot like he just did.
And there's no flash on the Yone, but he gets out. Uses the Q. RBM, he just wants to trade a little bit more of that health bar, but Onda's here too, Gotta be careful. Rhino, I know you got the Karma, but come on. Let's settle down a little bit, guys. Karma needs XP. Gotta get back to that bot wave eventually. But man, look at the CS differential right now.
Also think of the Dragon priority that's going to be coming up fairly shortly. You have 20 seconds until that picks up, and you can already see a lot of priority is investing into it, the TP from Dark Wings to make sure he has that mid pressure. And also, Raheem doesn't really need to worry about winning or trying to fight for anything over Value and Big because Rhino can just walk down there, throw an empowered Q, push the lane underneath the turret, and then they can just hover around that dragon to make sure Onda isn't challenging it whatsoever. So at this side, it's just an expectation of when Zeus decides to make the call for that objective, and if No Org will actually have the luxury to challenge it going forward, or if they need to continue to pressure with Onda as the Sudir and looking into these lanes, looking at Viper, looking at Fire against Dark Wings as well. And something that we haven't touched on just yet is this level 6 spike that we are encroaching upon. Alorem has just hit his. Viper, once he hits level 6, he also gets that. He gets the Fear Beyond Death too. So that's something where you have actual turret diving capability because of how much damage Onda and Viper will be able to dish out at this moment.
Onda was passing towards the top half of the map, but now, okay, he's still up there, but he's looking more for this mid lane instead. Fire still not level 6 yet. Ooh, maybe they catch out Big. The Shrema Shuffle pulls at the top catch back, but still just walks that way. Says, all right, I guess I'll escape this way instead. But thank you for using your cooldowns on me, dear enemy mid laner. But maybe this is enough to guarantee the dragon here for Zeus Gaming. They do love this objective for sure. Top lane, though, the 1v1 here. Alorem versus Viper. Fear Beyond Death. They both use it! Alorem gets it just a hair earlier. That was hilarious. What an interaction. Fire finally hits level 6. He goes into an RBM. He takes it. Does not get the dragon, but there's no way that a level 3 Karma can actually take this, right? You gotta back off now. Dark Wings is there, but Fire once more. Now they turn the attention on the dragon. Fire just says, maybe I'll take the objective. No, maybe they'll get Rhino. It's taken! Raheem actually gets the objective. They also get top catch. No way! Fire's gonna go down. It's disaster for No Org. They lose the top side. They kill the jungler. They think they get it. But Zeus fight back, getting the objective, getting a couple kills. What is happening in this game, Coco?
3 for 3, all gold is even, but man, oh man, Zeus has the tempo. Value is in a world of hurt. There we go. Now we can break open. Oh wait, minion! Minion! Oh yes!
I'm losing it over here, man. I don't even know what's going on anymore. What is this game?
They clashed in Cup. And, okay, so this is the thing. Just a friend of mine returned. He usually calls these clashes between No Org and Zeus Gaming Civil Wars. We had Civil Wars in Risen and in Big. Then we had Civil Wars 2 Electric Boogaloo happening in Cup. And now we have Civil Wars 3 Baba Booey happening right now in Tier 1. So it's just...
the end game. That's what we call this one, right?
I prefer Baba Booey, but end game works just as fine.
That's pretty good, yeah.
But just to give us a little breath of fresh air coming out of this game and just the quick few moments that we had, it's something where we're still playing Zeus's game. Like, this is 100%. Alorum is able to stay in that isolationist top side. He's able to do the 1v1s where he gets it against Viper super close to the chest,
that
especially
was
in that
so
one.
close.
Like,
what's the measuring stick on that one, man? Like,
that was clutch.
All right,
But it's at these stages where it's just sort of keeping that mental fortitude in their side of the court, saying, Zeus, you keep playing this chaotic, this very scrappy style. You're having fun with the game, and that's what's helping sort of fuel the rest of their momentum forward going into this really key game for Proving Ground Circuit.
Rhino has been in lane maybe like 40% of the time. He's still level 3, I'm pretty sure.
True.
He's just
we'll have to check. I think
RBM around the jungle.
I think he hit level 4 with that assist.
Maybe, yeah.
Just down that happened with Value losing his life to Raheen, which was also fairly close to the chest. But
this is what we were talking about going into this game. No Org, they like to play standard. They like to play, laning phase out, get leads in their lanes, and then transition that into objectives. They're not getting that against Zeus. Zeus is doing such a great job of just saying, we're throwing the rulebook out the window. Who decided that we play 1 top, 1 mid, 2 bot with a jungler? No, we're doing double jungle. We're going funnel strat, apparently, with the Karma support walking around with the Hecarim. And, I mean, No Org are trying to fight back, but that play, that might have been the one that really shoves things into Zeus's favor.
Yeah, and it's something where it's not No Org playing their game either, right? Like, sure, they're counteracting, and they got that first blood onto the top side against Alorum. Reiterate that. We want to see that pressure. We want to see that hairy Viper that we know and love, and especially on the Sylas. You also mentioned Five Fire being another key member in this deciding game on that Yone. He also needs some attention, some love, where he can make that additional plays. Stop playing Zeus's game. Focus on winning those laning phases. You have Onda, who has shown that he is a faster jungle clear than RBM, though at those times, it's mostly been RBM and Pocket Rhino going in like a 1v2 situation, and that's where we bring back that point of saying, oh, well, jungle's a 1v1 game and you're just sort of trying to create that lane presence and power farming situation. No, Rhino, he doesn't need to worry about Raheen on his Ezreal. He knows he's not in a sense of like fatality or any kind, so he can roam, he can get extra priority.
He can't do anything.
No, yeah,
like they cannot threaten that Ezra. I love this draft from
it's
Zeus.
Nuts. And that's what's so big. That's why it's like this draft gap is actually immense. It's not because the team fighting might be better for No Org later on. Oh, well, maybe there's like some better extra lane priority here for Zeus. It's the fact that they were able to get the pick of the litter, saying, okay, we understand that you're trying to do this here in the jungle with Onda Udyr. We're gonna do that with Hecarim, and you go ahead and pick the Tahm Kench. All right, that gives a counterplay for us to get instant lane priority with Karma and roaming capability with her on the Enchanter as well. And then it's again with the Yone on top of that, with the Azir. Like, there's just different counteractions that happen in the draft that we're always playing into Zeus's favor, and that's where No Org is just constantly playing onto that back foot, and they have to, through sheer force of will, find a way into this game.
Again. Yeah, we have a little pause in the game right now, so we're going to take this time to just look at some of the replays.
Slow it down for me.
So, but look at this. Where were they? Like, neither of them were on Summoner's Rift right there. I'm very confused what the character models were doing in that instance. But, man, like, some of these plays, they're breaking my mental for sure. I'm in a good way, in the best way possible. I want to bring us back to that point that you made, though. All of the draft, we were like saying, oh, this is great for Zeus. Like, they're getting this counter bot side where Ezreal can play safe. Oh, they get the Karma flex pick. They can pair it with the Hecarim, things like that. The big thing that I was highlighting was Five Fire on the Yone. he's been trying. He has been playing very aggressively in this mid lane, but just hasn't been able to actually find that kill. And unfortunately, he didn't even get the kill when he and Tahm Kench flashed over the red buff wall and tried to chase down Rhino right there. So it's like, if Firefire can't come online in the next 5 minutes, things are looking really bad for No Org.
Yep. And it is not a good image or even objective to have in your mind when you are a No Org fan saying, hey, what's the best way for us to win? Well, it's to work as a team and to play in those macro plays and those macro styles. When you're on that match point and you're saying, well, we need to invest on individual players really popping off, you can do it. Firefire's done it before. Viper's done it before. But it is a very difficult path to actually get to that point.
Oh, he's got some help.
And already,
Anda is on the top side. Yep, Alorm could be in trouble. Still has the flash. Okay, hey, pulls back. Yep. There you go. Does use the summoner spell, respects the fact that Viper can lock him down and has ultimate available.
Well, this is what I was talking about for No Org. Like, we're immediately once we get back out of the pause, it's No Org saying we can't play Zeus's game anymore. We need to play our own style. Get Viper ahead. Get Firefire to have that comfortability to actually engage and try and challenge Darkwings with this Yone, who he might be able to pop off into those mid-game phases once he gets that mythic item. That's where we want to see Anda posting himself and posting his pressure. Being in this bottom lane or counteracting when Big's getting caught out, that's not where we need him to be, because we know Big can survive. He can disengage properly. He's a Tahm Kench. Play your game. Play that mentality. Don't let Zeus control this pressure. Where Zeus, they've got that happiness. They've got that vibe going. Everything's going their way. And immediately Rhino and the entire gang is just in No Org's jungle.
Yeah, Zeus definitely got that limited edition Pokemon Happy Meal. We can confirm that one. Oh, is the steal going to come through? Nope, True Shot Barrage a little late, but I like the attempt. Man, could you imagine if that had stolen just the mental burden of Anda for the rest of this game? No Org, though, we're back into the game. They find themselves in a fairly controlled position. There's nothing crazy happening. They're like, okay, at least Rhino is in lane again, everybody. Yeah. We can rest for a little bit as RBM just gives away blue buff over to Darkwings, will back for himself. Okay. This is what Firefire's been looking for this whole time. You gotta find these plays onto Darkwings, and that's a good amount of chunk right there.
Yeah, that's a good trade. I think he just needs to look for that once more. Anda is... He's hanging around here, and I'm saying no. Reset, look for this Rift Herald that is available, and try and break open this top side. Firefire's on the right path, though. He's looking to take down Alorm.
Looking for it up on the top side. He just roams up there. Alorm in trouble. They know he doesn't have flash, and it's just an easy pickup. And the kill goes to Firefire. That's big for No Org.
Huge pickup as well. And again, it also gives them that top priority for Viper to come roam down and help get pressure on that Rift Herald. RBM now caught in a little awkward positioning, but he's got Darkwings. He
finds Firefire on the rotation. They get the flash out of the Yone. He chases him down. Look. Ooh, Darkwings, he just planted the CC for Firefire, flashes for the auto to get the kill. Now RBM, though, taking a lot of damage here from Anda, does not have the healing that he needs. Darkwings, 1v1 against Anda. It's on a 1v1. Viper's joined in as well. Firefire will go, or Darkwings rather, will go down. A double kill over to Anda. And No Org with the response play.
And I don't know why RBM really tried to continue to challenge that. Like, yes, you've got blood in your eyes. You're really looking for that extra priority and sort of win back that top priority that was lost with the Firefire's roam and put it into Darkwings' court. But at that stage, you know that Alorm's not going to be able to help you out. He's gray screen, and there are 3 members hanging around on that top side, and that gives them that priority for No Org to win that fight. Viper comes in at the crucial moment for Anda to help clean up that skirmish and then get pressure onto this Rift Herald with Firefire TPing in to secure that as well. So with this, they can grab Shelly, go ahead, post up into top side. You do have that turret diving capability. It's just a curiosity of if Viper has that cooldown on his ultimate just yet to get Alorm's Fear Beyond Death once again, so he can just full-on commit and take him out.
I would say don't drop it top. I'd say drop it mid. I want to funnel gold onto Firefire right now. If this Yone can get more gold in his pocket with turret blades, then he can really start to run away with it. I think either one there's an argument for.
Yeah, so the argument for topside is that you are able to create this weak point where Alorm is going to have to play super far back, and it gives you more luxury to challenge these neutral objectives on the bottom side of the map where you can start dumping more resources. Also, it gives you a free lane for Viper and Firefire to constantly just continue to catch farm in, where mid lane will have a little bit more priority because Darkwings will always have it on lock, and he has a Zir turret in his back pocket if he ever wants to help push forward to contest when these objectives do arrive. Speaking of, you have that Mountain Dragon available, but Zeus, because of that bottom lane priority and because Darkwings has won that trade in the mid, will be able to get that win.
Oh, Fear Beyond Death, he says, okay, if we're not in a 1v1, I win these. Alorum is picked up on the top half of the map. There's the 2-drop rush just to clear out some of the wave. And they might just drop that Rift Herald up top like you were expecting, but that does mean Dragon picked up here by Zeus. They are on 2 dragons now. That will be an Ocean Soul spawning after the next one's taken here. And Zeus, this is just the story of the game so far. They really prioritize these dragons, whereas No Org really prioritized the top half of the map, and it shows in the stat line 2 kills for the top lane, jungle, and mid lane. But they haven't dropped the Rift Herald just yet. There we go. Now it goes down.
They were being a little hesitant because they wanted to make sure that they got the entire turret. They didn't want Alorum coming back in and saying, well, I can still defend under my tier 1 turret and be totally fine. That entire investment that Coco was talking about earlier is a completely moot point. But with that, No Org makes the right call, make sure that they get that objective and secure it formidably with that Rift Herald, giving all of that plate gold over to Viper, who has a massive gold lead and is able to pick up his mythic item now on that recall. And this is where it opens up that map a little bit more. Viper can start roaming around looking for kills, helping out Onda, because he knows Alorum is just stuck in that top side in a very back-end position.
I'm just curious why Rhino has stopped roaming at this point in the game. It was working out for them so well earlier on, and you don't really need him down there. They got the dragon already, so I want to see Rhino start following around RBM, start making things happen elsewhere on the map, but No Org. They actually want to take the 2v2 right now, but they're getting really aggressive. Yeah, teleport comes in, RBM's on the bottom half. Flash used by Value, but look at Darkwing. He chases them down. They want the kill. They get it. Big will fall as well, and a huge misplay from No Org nets 2 kills to Zeus.
Yeah, I'm in the same department. I don't know why Value and Big were trying to challenge that. Not like, sure, maybe to try and push them away from the wave so you can try and grab more economy, but you're even in CS, you don't really need to try and push for anything, and you're a late game scaling bottom lane. You're Senna and Tom Kent. You're there for the team fights and for rotations around objectives, not there for the laning phase. There was no reason for them to be there, and Zeus just completely gets all the award. However, Alorum,
again,
could he escape?
Not again. He uses the flash and he'll still go down. Ooh, that is not the showing I was hoping for from this champion. When I see Alorum lug in Urgot, I get excited. But now let's take another look at this bot lane play here. Yeah, No Org just this is just forward.
Yeah, this is just embarrassing from them. But the good call from Fire and Viper to be able to find the reply kill onto Alorum in that mid lane. Because it's also the same exact thing. Alorum is not in a position where he can push out waves by himself. He doesn't have a great escapes tool, especially against Silas and Ione. So with that, to that end, he gives away that free kill, gives some pressure for No Org to equal out the map a little bit more, but it's going to be stale for just a few moments because there's no true neutral objective on the map right now. We've got 2 minutes until Dragon spawns, and we have a little while until the Rift Herald really makes it up, pops back up on the map as well. So this is where No Org can continue trying to apply pressure in those solo lanes and force Zeus to play their game of these constant roaming assassins that will just find pick after pick after pick.
And again, Viper just gets a 1v1. That's what? Now, I guess that's the first true 1v1, but man, he is just so far ahead of Alorum right now. 4, 1, and 2. I was looking at Fire thinking, okay, this Yona's got to pop off. Maybe my eyes were in the wrong place because Viper is putting on his carry pants right now.
Viper popping off. Again, they were playing their game. No Org finally being able to invest in their individual carries of Viper and Fire, and Zeus stepping on that back foot. A lot of that momentum and a lot from that chaotic early game has now fallen to the wayside and comes into question, like you brought up earlier, that where has Rhino been on this roaming karma? Is it just at that stage? Sure, the argument is that you were falling behind in experience, and you are 3 levels down from Raheen. He's level 10, you're level 7, but you're not that far behind the opposing bottom lane, who is level 8 and level 9. You can still continue to roam, you can still continue to try and find pressure elsewhere.
Okay. Huh.
And, okay, at this stage, and at this point, well, at this point, this is where, because Rhino has continued to just stick on Raheen, he can't come and help out Darkwings on the side lane or help Alorum get some confidence back into his Urgot. And it's this, the draft gap that we were promoting has now just started to shrink more and more because No Org is just picking up the pace and really applying pressure on their carries.
Rhino at least still packs a punch, but yeah, I just, like, what was the difference? What was the change? What's going on right now? Rhino getting dove under turret. Onda just chases right down through that one, but now Fire could be in some trouble. Will trade his life for the enemy support. Not the best trade here for No Org. Right as Dragon spawning. This is good news for Zeus.
And that dragon spawns 5 seconds, as you mentioned, and they have priority on top of it in the river. Alorum does have... He has the flank. He could.
Firefire's got TP, and he's up in another 15 seconds. So I actually don't know if Zeus have the window to really go for this. It will still be a 4v5. Oh no, Viper also steals a Hecarim ultimate. So yeah, I think No Org actually get this dragon.
Yeah, they grabbed this one, no problem. Like, Firefire won so much priority getting a couple kills. Sure, he lost his life, but he used so many resources away from Zeus's backline to challenge.
Oh no!
Nice
He did
catch.
not expect Viper to be in that brush. No Org get a kill onto the mid laner, secure their first dragon of the game, and this is we talked about the scaling of their comp. We talked about what they needed to do in the early game to get to that point, and now they have done just that. No Org 3k up. Alorum, no! He's also just walking into a brush right now. Firefire can easily take this 1v1. Right as I say that, though, maybe not. Nope, okay. With the help of the Center ultimate, yes, Firefire will 1v1 Alorum. 6 deaths on this Urgot.
Yeah, that was pretty close without the Senna ultimate, but he would have still been able to secure it. Nonetheless, though, this is a completely different Zeus from what we've seen in Game 1, where they were constantly in up-tempo. They were always trying to pressure Onda and Firefire in their lanes and really pushing away value from a lot of the waves and really getting that bot lane advantage. The bot lane is still there. Like, Ezreal is 3-0. He's someone that is pretty much the carry that Zeus has to rely on going into the rest of the game, but Firefire is just massive.
No way he actually gets that kill.
Oh, wait, turret?
Oh, no! Firefire a little cocky right there. He was feeling it. He had he put his cologne on, he had his best shirt, he was like, I'm going dancing tonight. But unfortunately, club's closed, it's COVID, go back home, Firefire. RBM picks up a free kill.
And just how I wanted to use that engagement from Firefire as an example that Raheen is not in a comfort zone as he believes himself to be in on this Ezreal, because Firefire and Viper have so many tools to just get on top of him and then stick on him as well. And we can just look at this one again. So this is the example I was looking for, where Firefire, he can stick on his opponent and he can really burst people out, but that's a tanky Hecarim, and unfortunately turret shots do increase in damage output the more you stay underneath them. Just wasn't able to do the math right. Does have to go home to just redo his homework.
Unfortunate right there. He's still in a fantastic position in the gold department. Look at that current gold right now.
That's a
4K.
big graph, my man.
And it's everywhere that No Org wants it to be. We talked about this in the last game. Potentially the strongest top half of the map out of all teams here in the Tier 1 tournaments. And that is exactly what we're seeing right now. Viper, Onda, Firefire, the Goon Squad together, running around Summoner's Rift, and really making a quick work of Zeus in this one. It was a little shaky at the beginning. Those first couple minutes before that pause, I was thinking, hey, Zeus got this number. They're going to turn it around and make it a quick series, but already it's going to be a spicy game number 2 here. All teams looking to get priority around these waves right now. We see rotations as big in value are put in the mid lane. Solo laners from No Org put on the side lanes, playing a bit of a 1-3-1 split right now and defending against RBM. And if I'm Zeus, again, just get Rhino out of there, man. Let him roam with RBM. Try and pick off somebody in the side lane. Yeah, they're fed, but you got to do something other than just catching mid-wave.
At this point now, it's just the fear of the Yone, because he's on that flank. He's ready to fight.
Speaking of fear of the Yone, he just goes over the wall yet again, but RBM says, how many times do I have to bounce you out of this club, man? Go home! Another death for Firefire. RBM picking up more gold. And now with one member down from No Org, Zeus have control of Summoner's Rift.
And oh man, Firefire giveth and Firefire taketh away today on the second game of the series, and this is where a little bit of my concern and this inkling of doubt is starting to grow in my mind with No Org, where yes, they have these extremely powerful carries, but I'm going to hold this one because Viper's on the flank.
They see Big, but now Onda flashing in, trying to chase down Raheen. That isn't Ezreal, he can't get away, but Onda says, nope, I got too much range with the rest of my team. Viper's here as well, RBM goes in, Big saving his mid laner, rather top laner. Viper's still alive, and look at value, just peppering everybody from Zeus. There's a fight happening on the left side of the screen, and it is Viper taking out Rhino in the top lane of verse support matchup. Not exactly the fairest of fights right there. Firefire also teleports in, No Org win the fight, and they're already moving up to Baron.
Yeah, they have a team that can challenge it because they have the survivability from Onda and value to help heal them up. And it's going to be slow, but there's no jungler here for Zeus. RBM is on gray scheme for the next 10 seconds, so they'll be able to take this one luxuriously and reset for a potential dragon, which is coming up in 40 seconds. So this is wonderful timing here from No Org to really start to widen the gap in this second game. And from here, it goes from a 43,000 diff, and this is where you're Raheen, right? And this is where we're talking about you're very
walked
confident
into a
this
center
Ezreal.
route. He walked into that minion W. That's rough.
Yeah, it's the confidence of Ezreal saying, like, I'm mobile, I can go ahead and constantly backpeel against a Nadir. It's fine. But when you walk into that Senna W, you can't. You will get stuck, and it's just unfortunate for Rhino to also be a victim of the crime, as now it is No Org just continuing to continue to pile dog on top of Zeus Gaming and make sure that they can really take this game the series to a game 3. All you need to do, break open this mid lane, rotate down, take out this dragon as well while it is available, and look at top side as well. There's some minions that are just battering away, and they might be able to grab that objective as well for free.
Yeah, No Orgs. I mean, we talked about the difficulty of No Org getting onto Zeus, right? Like, oh, it's an Azir Ezreal Karma. Like, that's pretty hard to actually stick on top of them. But we didn't realize the same problem is there for Zeus. That's a Tahm Kench Senna. So, like, yeah, you can try and get onto Viper, Firefire, but they love these long, scrappy fights. They're going to take those with their current builds right now. So you're trying to maybe get onto Valued, but then there's a Tahm Kench keeping you alive. These fights are so hard for Zeus to play out right now, and No Org keep pressuring these side lanes. They keep Viper and Firefire pushing these side turrets. Now Darkwings finds himself in a really bad position. There's the Shrima Shuffler, Emperor survived, rather. He flashes away, trying to get out of this. But actually does stay alive. Alorim teleports in. Viper could be in some trouble here. Fear Beyond Death misses. Ooh, well done by Viper to dodge that one out. Zeus at least keep their mid laner alive.
Yeah, if the Fear Beyond Death did hit, the innate slow that comes from it might be able to secure that kill, but that was very well done from Darkwings to disengage off of that fight. RBM, he's going to be able to punish big here.
So Tahm Kench, he's quite tanky. Now Onda's joined in, saying, okay, I'll be the secondary front line, and here comes Viper stealing the Hecarim ultimate. And No Org yet again are winning these fights. What a engage, what a re-engage. Okay, Firefire, I don't even know what to say at this point. He just does not like these turrets, man. He goes down again, Viper under the turret. No, I don't think you have this. I think Raheen gets out. Oh, it's a trade. The turret falls. Alorim's the last member left alive. Value might just have the range to get one more auto take him down. Does not have it. No Org taking these fights.
And just by the skin of their teeth on that one, it's a 3-for-4 trade, but Value is still able to pressure this turret with the Baron Empowered Cannon Minion. We'll have to disengage to see if he can just try and take whatever resources are left in the jungle of Zeus Gaming. Unfortunately for him, there are none, so he will just go ahead and hit the reset so he doesn't get caught with his pants down with any of the Zeus Gaming members rallying behind him. But this was a great re-engagement from RBM, but it's an even better one from Onda and Viper, who find the flank and with the Hecarim ulti, separate the back line and the front line. And that's one of the big issues that Zeus Gaming is running into right now, where Raheen still confident on this Ezreal, and that's what you want from an ADC here, to constantly dish out and throw out that poke to try and take out those carries. But his front line is just so squishy that when he's able to get into that point of contention to try and take out Value and take out Firefire, his front line's already dead, and there is nothing stopping Viper or Value himself to take out this Ezreal.
The range advantage of the Senna is insane right now. They're in that team fight, just peppering people left and right the entire time. Nobody could get in onto Value. All the attention, like you're saying, on Viper, on Onda, the two members that engage. Fire following up as well. It's just a beautiful team fight overall from No Org right there. This is a scary, very scary Silas. 3 items completed. Yep. Got the Rabadon's death cap just flexing out here with the build right now, saying, who's going to answer me in the side lane? There's just nobody right now that can deal with this guy. He can steal Darkwing's ultimate. He can steal Alorim's ultimate. RBM's ultimate's fantastic as well. So No Org just have their, they're taking the pick right now. Yep. They get the bottom turret. They can go pretty much anywhere they want on the Rift.
What's difficult for them is still the sieging. They're a fairly short-range comp outside of Value's Senna, who can just sort of shoot from afar and sort of from the darkness as it is. And it gives Zeus Gaming some breath of fresh air when they're defending against these inhibitor turrets in the turtle shell of their base. And they have the wave clear to sort of survive just an unbaron Power Puff, just a regular minion wave, they can take care of it. But a Baron empowered wave, that's where we're going to start to run into trouble. So it's just No Org biding their time, taking all the resources off the map for Zeus to really struggle and really get choked out of any possible economy to get them to that next push to try and challenge for this Baron. And even then, it's Baron in 55 seconds, Dragon in a minute as well. That will be soul point for No Org, and that's going to be a quadruple Ocean Soul as well for No Org. It's going to be so difficult to try and take out any of the members.
Yeah, it's just not possible. Silas heals up too much. Ow. You got the Senna to help with that as well. He set some chunk there onto Value, but look at Rhino has to flash away because 5-Fire almost catches out the Karma right there. Zeus really in a rough spot right now. They have no vision on their top half of the jungle, no access to those camps and all that golden XP. They just got to wait for these waves to crash into them, but with all this base that No Org have built, Baron's coming up here in 20 seconds. The next Dragon's up in 30. They can go for either objective. Zeus, maybe the best they can hope for is to trade one of them, but now they're getting caught out in their own jungle. Viper. They are not safe right here. Raheen goes down at first. Viper picks up that one. Alarim's going to follow. There's just nothing to do. It's just over. That's a double kill to Viper. That's 11 kills on the Silas. This might just be the game, Coco. RBM cannot find anything out of 5-Fire either. No Org. If they can win a big team fight here, they can go for the push. But no, they are backing off right now. Maybe not. Okay.
Okay.
Rhino playing with fire right there.
Yeah, Dark Wings is still available, so there's really no way that they could try and break open any of these lanes because of how much wave clear Azir has. But because of that ambitiousness and that very, I'd say, hungry play for Alarim and Raheen to try and grab any of their own jungle and get a grasp of economy back into their pockets, it gives No Org that opening to just drive right in, catch Raheen and Alarim with their pants down, and take them out so they really get a secured Baron and Dragon power play for themselves. This is just unfortunate for Rhino. They're there, man. You don't need to check because there's no way RBM's going to try and challenge that.
Right, No Org picking up kills left and right. It feels like this is one of the go next from Zeus right now. They had a very strong first couple minutes, but No Org, they're doing No Org things right now. The solo laners popping off and just showing that, hey, we are just going to outskill you in these fights. And this is just the Viper show right now. This guy's played in LCS, he's played in Academy, now he's playing here in the Tier 1 tournaments, but he still is this crazy carry player with insane potential. And we're seeing exactly what that looks like here, and Zeus are unfortunately on the receiving end of this one.
Yeah. On a side note, I really like that Silas is coming back into the meta. As you can see, it's a very skill expressive, and though it is very unique and niche in its specific times, when you are able to pick it up and it's strong, you really feel it. You feel how powerful this pick is.
He's level 18.
And, yeah, it is something where Viper piloting this, he's like, damn, why didn't we pick this up earlier? This is such a good pickup. 5-Fire can play it, I can play it. It's a good counter pick for a lot of these teams that are running Hecarims and so on and so forth. And at this point, like you said, Zeus is in that situation where well, go next. No Org has actually gotten to the position forced into this laning phase where we will lose in the one-on-ones, and we just need to reset the draft.
Flashed by Viper, he just wants it. He can take these turret shots for days. Look at how strong he is. Maybe with the rest of the team, though, Zeus can't actually shut down Viper. He's doing so much damage. He's still alive. Big keeps him alive for even longer. They cannot kill this guy. He goes on a rampage. Dark Wings goes down under his own Azir turret. Viper is insane right now. Oh no, Raheen takes a lot of chunk there from Value. This turret will go down. Baron waves pushing in. No Org might just look for the final play right here, Coco. They get the top inhibitor. They get the bottom inhibitor as well. 5-Fire diving so deep, but might be a little too deep here. He will have to go back eventually, but Anda is there to help him out. He gets a double knockup. Anda's there for the stun. This is the final straw here for Zeus. They lose their jungler. No Org still have the Baron buff. All members up, all members healthy, and they can just charge in. They don't even want these turrets, they want more kills. Alarim in a really bad position does go down, and No Org say enough is enough. We had fun with game number 1, but now we're here to win, and we want to guarantee a top 4 spot. They will take us to a game number 3.
And I just have to recall us to what had happened in just a few moments ago at the beginning of this game, where we had that quick pause right after Big got caught out in the jungle in that bottom quadrant, and the No Org was resetting after a couple kills had gone back and forth, and we had a 3 kills to 4 kills in favor of Zeus Gaming. And it was Rhino who was constantly finding these roams with RBM and finding these catches and forcing Fire underneath his turret. And suddenly, after that pause was lifted, it was like a flip was switched. Like, Rhino stopped roaming on the Karma, just absolutely stopped roaming. And then on the other side, Onda figured out, he's like, hey, Viper is our win con, and if I'm able to allow Fire and Viper to continue being these solo laners and force Zeus Gaming to be in this constant state of laning presence, then we're going to be able to just win this game with the Silas and Yone respectively. And he immediately pressured on that when the pause was lifted. So whatever you guys did, okay, do it again, but Zeus Gaming, I'm not counting them out just yet because of how cleanly they were at the early stages and how well they were able to create chaos in Game 1. So we'll have to see what the break gives us going into Game 3.
Fun drafts from both teams, but at the end of the day, No Org do execute better, and they pick up a win, bringing us to Game 3 in the series. We're going to send it to a very short break before the analysts come back and break down exactly what happened in Game number 2, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to a Game 6 Puggers.
Oh no, Jesus. I didn't know you were going to do that.
Shout out to Smack on that one. But, No Org came out swinging right back. Not going to lie, it was a Viper diff. A lot of attention put into him. And this time around, on something like the Silas, he just had a lot more agency to create chaos in those mid-late game fights. But we got to explain how we got there in the first place. If we have a chance to pull up the draft graphic once more, just for everyone in case you missed what the compositions were looking to do. I'm going to throw it towards Loyota just so we can get a chance to break down what the purpose of each team's composition was looking to do in this game.
Yeah, so when Zeus decided to take Karma into the Tahm Kench lane, the whole purpose of it is to just gain a self-lead, and you harass them as much as you can, you make sure they can't breathe, and then you use that advantage to just kind of push through. That should have been what happened. What really happened was the Karma left the lane over and over again. They even leashed for their Hecarim, which should really never happen, but they did anyways. And they just had nothing bought. And then suddenly, the Urgot was just dying all the time. So you had nothing going for bot, and then top was dying all the time. It's just a disaster.
I mean, and you're not going to get anything out of mid lane at this point, right? So we see this here. It's already at the point where now Karma is always trying to roam. She goes into mid lane. They don't find much. And Fire and Big, they called in the teleport. They immediately are able to get this flash away from Rhino. And the best part about this for the side of No Org is this is a huge wave that is crashing into Ezreal. So really, they don't lose much. They use some of their summoner spells. They're able to give themselves a little bit of golden advantage in almost every single one of their lanes. And off of this, because of RBM and Rhino kind of roaming together as a two-man duo there, it allows for Onda to basically take over 3 quadrants of his jungle.
Yeah, and you'll be able to get a chance to see that in our heat map that we have prepared for RBM here, that a lot of his proximity wasn't really spent, especially on the top side of those camps, being able to cycle them through. They belong to Anda. And we eventually saw that as the game came to a close, Anda was able to practically flame Horizon RBM just because his focus was on trying to snowball bottom and mid lane once again, trying to put a lot of focus into trying to gank for Dark Wings and trying to gank for Raheen. But Leota, you know, if you're playing things like Lee Sin, yeah, that completely makes sense. But you're playing Hecarim. You got to farm. You're trying to get some gold in you to get these one-item power spikes in, my friend.
Yeah, it was fine what he did in the beginning. He full cleared up, great. Like, you know, they tried to mess with them in the jungle. It wasn't the best of ideas, but whatever. But when he comes back, he sees that there's like, oh, I gotta help my mid laner. He has no HP, but his mid laner has TP. So he can just TP back for himself, and then he should do the camps, and then he'll be like, fine. But then he keeps doing these plays over and over again. He kept going in the bot lane instead of going to the top lane. And then Anda's just looking at him just like, all right, game 2, I'm just going to take your top camps again. And it's just like, I don't know. It's like the same thing happened again.
They left Viper on that full island at this point. They left Alorum. They're like, okay, Alorum, good luck, sir. Good luck at esports. We'll have fun. You can go have fun playing solo lane versus 1v2. And we see stuff like this where Viper is constantly getting ganks, constantly putting Alorum into it's super advantageous positions, and towards the end of the game, he is just way too fed. He has way too much gold, and even in situations where maybe Zeus could have won it if it was a much more even game state, it was all Viper all the time.
Yeah, I mean, after that a third point, we saw that Viper had sound control of that lane, of all the investment that Anda had been able to put into the top side, and because essentially RBM opted into a one quadrant farming simulator after not being able to get any attempts or successful attempts in terms of setting up Dark Wings for success in the mid lane there. Ando not only is power farming all 3 quadrants towards the top side, he's also setting up a tent to make sure that Viper is consistently getting resources to be able to shut down Alorum. We see eventually later on, he's hitting 2 items while everyone else is still trying to catch up to their first item here. And then we're not going to be able to have enough time in playing one last replay. But you saw, if you were watching that game too, how impactful and how much chaos that Viper was able to create in those fights, taking ultimates like the Onslaught of Shadows, or taking the Urgot ulti and sniping out Raheen and taking out one of the crucial backliners for this fight. So as we're wrapping up and getting ready to game 3, I just have to say, you know, for Zeus Gaming, there's a little bit of faith from us in the desk that if they can go back to what was working for them in game 1, you know, maybe they can recreate that success. But for No Org, anytime historically you take a game off of them and try to threaten their undefeated series win streak, they get mad. Viper gets mad, and so he wants to maintain that perfect win streak. So I know Kangas and Coco are on standby, ready to take us soon, but we will take a break first to make sure they can get ready on their end. But ladies and gentlemen, please don't turn off that browser. We will be right back for this final game of the series.